Hey, welcome to another episode of MLM Renegade. I'm JR McKee, and I am excited today to talk about rewards. So here's the million-dollar question. How are network marketers like us, who've tried everything their upline ever suggested to be successful, and yet still struggled, who grew up with technology and aren't stuck in the 20th century, how are we supposed to grow our downlines and our bank accounts, and yet still have time for real life? My name is JR McKee. Join me as we explore how to use 21st century learning and technology to grow our downlines and build lasting wealth. Simply put, this is MLM done different. Welcome to MLM Renegade. All right, guys, welcome back in today. I've been thinking, I was mulling over what I wanted to talk about this week, and I've thought a lot about actually parenting, right? So I had a Facebook picture pop up, those memories that pop up. Well, this one was from 9 years ago, and it was the baby picture for our baby, okay? Our baby is now 9 years old and is active as anything, but this picture was all four of our kids. I can't believe how little they looked. And, it warmed my heart, one, but really what it got me thinking was just the satisfaction that I had from seeing that picture and then comparing it to some of our newer family pictures. I'm really proud. Our oldest son, who's 18, he's about to graduate from high school. He's actually just got accepted to all the state universities here in Utah, and we're really excited for him. And he actually he made the decision and the choice to actually go and serve a mission for 2 years. So he's actually been called to serve in Toronto, Canada. So he's going to go and serve the people of Toronto for 2 entire years. And I'm really proud of him. It swells my heart. And that is one of the rewards and one of the payoffs for being a parent, seeing your kids grow up and do the right things. And I was thinking about that and trying to apply it to business and to our business and to, some of the difficulties that we run into every single day with building a network marketing company. So this week I've been thinking a lot because the company that my wife and I are working with is just opened a South American country. I don't want to dive too far into it. You guys can check out mlmdonedifferent.com if you really want to check that out. But with all of this, it's been just fascinating to see how people are rewarded and how people respond to rewards. So I've been in sales, you guys know, for parts of 3 decades, and more than 2 decades in total. And through all of that, I've found what works for me for rewards. And I'll tell you, I love winning a contest. In fact, I get tooth and nail just into winning that contest. I'm very competitive, and that's part of the drive and part of what makes me me. But what I've realized more than that is I really appreciate a pat on the back and words of encouragement. When I get a hey man, nice job from my boss, oh my goodness, my day just elevates to an entirely different level and my productivity increases. And I am able to do things that maybe on a different day I just can't do. And so it got me thinking, like, what am I doing for myself? Now, when I'm as my own boss, as my own CEO, as an entrepreneur, I spend a lot of time working hard and beating my head against the wall sometimes and trying to get things to happen. And maybe in your network marketing business, you're a leader and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? You can help people see the vision, but if it doesn't get into their heart, they won't run with it on their own. And so I've been thinking about that, just trying to figure out what would work, and really realizing that part of my voice, part of the benefit that I bring to the world is some of these experiences that I have, some of these opportunities that I have had to grind through and to get through something difficult and to see management styles that work and that don't work. Okay, so coming up on 10 years ago, I worked for a guy who shall remain nameless. He's a very good guy, but his management style was the nastygram. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it, right? It was an email that came in, and it was usually in multiple colors, many of them red or yellow, highlights, bold, italics. Basically, he's yelling through an email, and that was his management style. He was managing by fear. And for me, it didn't work. In fact, I just rolled my eyes. In fact, it was so funny. I would literally sitting at my kitchen table, and we had a nurse coming from the life insurance company to take all our vitals and all that so that we could get some life insurance for our family. And as I was sitting there, I got one of these nasty grams that came through, and my blood pressure spiked. Like, literally, the lady was taking it, and she'd look at the readings, and her eyes got to be the size of dinner plates, and was just like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I just got this email for work. She's like, okay, I need you to calm down, go sit over there, turn off your email, and in 10 minutes, we'll take your blood pressure again. And so I did that. And I left, and I came back, and I took my blood pressure, and it was much more normal. And so obviously I wasn't dying, but it got me thinking, the cortisol levels that shoot into your blood when something like negative like that happens is just terrible for you. And so I got to thinking, okay, how do I apply this to entrepreneurs and to people who are becoming self-made, who want to build a network marketing business or who want to build a brick and mortar business? What is that? And I came upon treating yourself. You have to treat yourself. You have to reward yourself for the hard work that you're doing. Now, generally speaking, in a day job, the reward I get is a commission check or a pat on the back from my boss. I started this new job in medical device sales, and 2 weeks after I start the job, my boss actually started the job. So I've been there just about as long as him. It's not like I'm going back to this fount of knowledge that he has because he's learning it as well as we go. But yesterday, he called me just to give me a couple of words of encouragement. Just say, hey man, I'm really impressed with what you're doing. I love your work ethic. I love how hard you're working. And I know that you are going to crush this. Let me tell you, that took 2 minutes out of his day and elevated my day for the entire day. In fact, I'm still riding that high. A kind word goes so much further than a negative one. I heard a study somewhere that it takes 10 positive comments to counteract the damage of one negative comment. Okay? 10 positive for one negative, because our psyches, our brains are so willing. We're problem solvers, right? We want to solve problems inherently. And part of that is a great thing. And the other part is terrible. And I'll tell you why it's terrible. Because when we latch on to something negative, our minds grab hold of it. And it grabs hold of it and it tries to solve the problem. It tries to fix it. And if it doesn't come to an easy conclusion, it can get trod down really quickly. And when it gets trod down, negativity happens. And negativity is the death of creativity. Okay, let me say that again. Negativity is the death of creativity. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, we need to be creative. We need to creatively problem solve. I am a huge, huge fan of Brendon Burchard and Benjamin Hardy, okay? Brendon Burchard, Benjamin Hardy. These guys have incredible content. I've read their books. I watch podcasts and videos. These guys do amazing stuff, especially Benjamin Hardy. He's probably helped me more than any single person. I cannot wait to shake his hand one day, and I know I'm going to have that opportunity. I don't know when, but I will. In fact, I want to get him on this podcast episode. So anybody knows Benjamin Hardy, I want him on the podcast. So please help me out. Okay? So Benjamin is fantastic. And one of the things that he's taught me through time is to get up in the morning and immediately start experiencing the positive emotions of success. Okay? The positive emotions of treating yourself to something good, right? We all have wants, and sometimes success is suppressing those wants and desires, and sometimes success is indulging in those wants and desires. If it is something that is just going to make you happy, do it. Treat yourself. Do it. Because you're going to get more positive endorphins out of that. You're going to actually feel that emotion of success. You're going to feel that emotion of what it feels like to accomplish some goals. And you can grab hold of that. And remember that and project that forward. So as you treat yourself, as you go out there and spend time working, and then go and reward yourself with something good. You know, this very morning, one of my mentors, Steve Larson, sent me a voice message and said, hey man, I really appreciate everything you're doing for us. I'm spending some time doing some sales, consulting and whatnot with him. And it was a shot in the arm. I was so excited. Like, I literally, this is a fanboy moment. I found Steve Larson in late fall and purchased a course from him. If you guys want to know about that, contact me. It's amazing. And then I actually attended an event that he was putting on, and it was incredible. And through that, right after that, is when I got laid off from my job. Well, because of that, I was able to go and talk with him a little bit and help him with some of the sales stuff that he needed for his people. But he got this voice message to me and said, hey man, I really appreciate everything you're doing. I'm excited for the growth that we're having and for the part that you have in it and for the work that you're doing. Let me tell you, I've been riding on cloud 9. Like, Steve is a stud. I literally put down as one of my goals for 2019 that I wanted to count him as a friend. Well, I'm not going to say I'm there yet. We haven't gone skiing yet, and that is a very good indicator of friendship to me. But we will. I know we will. And I'm excited for it to happen. He and I share a lot of the same values, and I love listening to him and watching his journey. So again, I cannot recommend him enough. And he's a stud. He's actually going to be a guest here on the podcast in a couple of weeks. I'm excited for it. I've been excited for it. I had to schedule him 4 months in advance. So that tells you how in demand he is, but I'm really excited for it. So you guys, I want to wrap this up. I don't want to make it too long today, but really treat yourself, right? Spend some of that hard-earned money and get yourself something nice. You know, do something for yourself that is going to help you remember why you're doing this, because why you do this is probably for somebody else, right? But there's nothing that says that you can't take a little bit of satisfaction. In fact, if you're not taking satisfaction, you're probably doing it wrong. And if you're not patting yourself on the back at least once in a while, just to remember, hey, you do awesome work. Do it. Remind yourself of that. Because when you do, your life gets better. I can't emphasize that enough. Gets better. Okay, that's one of those things I've learned from Steven is he likes to yell at you. And guess what? I'm probably going to do it that a little bit more too because, hey, it gets my energy up. It gets me excited. You guys probably don't know this, and my wife would laugh, but every day, right before I publish an episode of this, I put on some heavy rock and roll music, and I rock out. Like today, I was seriously doing like my Rocky routine or whatever as I'm getting ready. Because it gets my heart rate up, gets me ready to go. And when I can do that, I can have more impact on people. And I can have a better impact on my day. I can get satisfaction out of what I'm doing. And honestly, publishing these and seeing your guys' reviews and comments gives me a great deal of satisfaction. That is part of my reward. That is those words of encouragement. So please, if you can, leave us an awesome review. You guys, I'm excited. We've got some great things coming here in the coming weeks, and some amazing trainers within MLM. I've got next week. Actually, we have Rob Sperry is going to be with us. Rob is an old friend of mine. He is one of the top trainers in all of MLM, and I cannot wait to spend some time with him on an episode. So, guys, take care. Have a great one. Make it your best day ever. Hey, thanks for listening, and please remember to subscribe. And if you loved us, leave us an awesome review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you consume your podcasts. Now, if you'd like some free training for your team on how your recruiting efforts can be bettered and brought into the 21st century, go to podcast.mlmrenegade.com and get your copy of the Renegade Recruiting Kickstarter.